Are you about to launch your own business or just getting started and already feel overwhelmed? You are not alone. Many new entrepreneurs fall into common trap that cost them time, money, and growth. But here is the good news. I'm here to help you to avoid this mistake and set your business up for success. In this video, we will cover the top 5 mistakes new entrepreneurs make and how you can avoid them to build a business that lasts. Let's dive in. Starting a business is one of the most exciting yet toughest challenges you'll ever face. It's full of steep learning curves, unexpected obstacles, and yes, plenty of mistakes. But here's the truth. You don't have to make those mistakes yourself. I started my journey from scratch, running a solo business out of my sister's garage. Mistake number 1, working in your business, not own your business. One of the most common traps entrepreneurs fall into is becoming consumed by the daily operation of their business. They believe that success comes from doing everything themselves, handling every task, managing every detail. But here is the truth. If you are too busy working in your business, you will never have the time or perspective to work on your business. Well, real growth happens. When I first started out, I thought I was the business. I was the market maker, the salesperson, the bookkeeper, and even the cleaner. It felt good, like I was in the control. But sure enough, I realized by trying to do everything, I was actually limiting the potential of my business. I was working harder and harder, but the business wasn't growing. It was a simple surviving. It took a while for me to realize by focusing on the day-to-day, I was neglecting the real work, creating systems, developing strategy, and building a vision for the future. How to avoid it? The key is to stop being a technician and start being a visionary. You need to step back from the technical work and look at your business as a system that should run without your constant involvement. Create processes that allow others to handle the daily operations and focus your energy on building a scalable, sustainable business. This means designing systems, delegating tasks, and setting your business up so it can function without you being at the center of everything. By shifting your focus to work on your business, you are laying the solid foundation for something that can grow beyond you, something truly extraordinary. Mistake number 2, building a product without validating it. The common mistake many entrepreneurs make is dive into a business ideas based on passion alone, without researching whether there's a real market for it. This can lead to pouring time, money, and energy into something that's just work and take off because the market is already saturated or the demand isn't there. But with a proper validation, this can be totally avoided. I had a client who was passionate about personal training and decided to start a business in that field. He put everything into it, but quickly realized the market was oversaturated. Rather than continue down that path and risk failure, he did the research, discovered a growing demand for dog training, and made the smart decision to pivot. He even upskilled himself in dog training, and now his business is thriving, booked 6 months in advance. By validating the market before fully committing, he turned a potential struggling business into a booming one. How to avoid it? Before you dive into a business, validating your idea by doing the market research. Test the market, identify the gaps, and be willing to pivot if needed, just like my clients did. Sometimes the key to success is adjusting your path, not abandoning your passion, just applying it where there is a real demand. Mistake number 3, failing to systemize your business. As business grows, many owners find themselves caught in operation chaos because they haven't established clear systems. When you rely too heavily on individual skills or intuitions, consistency is lost and efficiency creeps in. This leads to burnout and inability to scale. The key to sustainable growth is building repeatable systems that can ensure consistency and allow you to step back from day-to-day operations. One of my clients owned a fine dining restaurant that relied almost entirely on the skills of a star chef. If the chef was unavailable or one day decided to leave, complaints would pour in, and the customer experience suffered. The business was too dependent on this one individual, and growth was impossible under those conditions. We worked together to restructure the menu and overall operations, focus on creating a system that ensures high standard of dining and service, regardless of who was in the kitchen. By shifting the focus from a singular star chef to a repeatable, high-quality dining experiences, the client was able to franchise the restaurant. Now, instead of relying on individual talent, the restaurant thrives on reputation for consistent service and the dining experiences. How to avoid it? Systemizing your business is critical for consistency and scalability. Start by documenting every process, from how you onboarding clients to how the daily operation should run. Standard operation procedures, SOPs, allow you to replicate daily tasks easily, make it possible for others to escalate without constant oversight. Implement tools that help automate routines, tasks, and streamline communication. Mistake number 4. Try to build a team without developing leadership skills. One of the greatest challenges entrepreneurs face is building a strong team. But even a team of top performers will fall without effective leadership. It's not enough to hire tailored individuals. Without proper leadership, the team will lack direction, coordination, and accountability. A key principle of leadership is ownership, taking responsibility for not just your work, but for the success of your team. I once worked with a business owner who runs a successful marketing agency. He hired highly skilled professionals, but the business quickly hit roadblock due to confusions and misalignment in the team. Deadlines were missed, and the team's performance was inconsistent. After assessing the situation, it became clear that the issue wasn't the talent, it was a lack of leadership. Once we established clear roles, set measurable goals, and implemented regular team communication, the entire dynamic shifted. How to avoid it? Effective leadership is not about micromanaging every task. It's about empowering your team to take ownership of their roles and providing the structure they need to succeed. You must communicate your vision clearly, establish systems of accountability, and create a culture of trust and collaborations. As a leader, it's your responsibility to develop your own skills, whether through mentorship, leadership training, or personal development, so that you can guide your team with confidence. Mistake number 5. Not knowing your number. One of the most costly mistakes a business owner can make is failing to stay on top of their finances. It's easy to focus on revenue and neglect important financial details like expenses, cash flow, and profitability. But when you don't have a clear understanding of your numbers, you are setting yourself up for surprises, usually the bad ones. I had a client who ran a high-growth retail business. For a long time, they would focus solely on boosting sales, assuming that more revenue would solve all their problems. But they weren't checking their cash flow or expenses closely. Suddenly, they found themselves in a financial crunch. They had overspent, and the profits they thought were there were being swallowed by rising costs. After that wake-up call, we worked getting a clear understanding of their financial metric, implementing systems to check cash flow, and ensuring they always knew exactly where their money was going. Now you know the top 5 mistakes new entrepreneurs make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. You are already a step ahead in your business journey. Remember, building a business isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart, stay strategic, and learning continuously from both wins and setbacks. If this video was helpful, be sure to hit that like button, please. Subscribe for more valuable insights, and share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to see you in our next video.